I'm a bit surprised to hear you talk about Saskatchewan. I think some people have the impression that you have cut almost all ties with Canada, that you don't have a sense of roots here anymore.
No, I don't want to have anything to do with Canada. Well, I've lived now in the States as long as I lived in Canada. It's pretty much 50-50. So I don't really think of myself as... When I come to Canada now, I can't tell how fast I'm going or what, you know, what the temperature is outside, because I missed that transition. So in that way, it is a bit of a foreign country to me.
But is it coming home when you come to Canada?
Well, I'll tell you, a couple of summers ago, I have a house in north of Vancouver, you know, and I get up there from time to time. That is a foreign place to me. Saskatchewan is where I spent my formative years, so, you know, it's just like a salmon going up the river. There is something definitely in any place that you spent your childhood that has deep meaning to a person. Anyway, I left. I was headed to the airport in Vancouver, and in rush hour traffic, I missed my exit. And I was hungry, so I pulled into a Chinese restaurant. I had a nice little meal, and at the end of the meal, I got a fortune cookie. I cracked it open, and it said this would be a good day to take a long journey. So I got in my car, and I got on the expressway, and I started driving to Saskatoon. And I stopped in Lake Louise. I kind of ambled along, and one morning, about just before the sun was coming up, I was approaching the Alsace border. The truck in front of me, it looked like a cardboard box fell off of it. So it bounced high up in the air, so I drove over it. It turned out it was a railroad tie. So I had a blowout just on the Alsace border. I was just entering into my province. I got out of the car, and my hair stood out on just like a flag, just unfurled, you know. And I hadn't felt the wind blow like that in so long. Just that act, just that one thing, the wind howling like that, the way it does on the prairie, I can't explain to you, but somehow or other you know as an animal that you're near the place where you were born. And I'm glad I was by myself, because driving along, every time I'd see a thrashing machine, I would just go into raptures. There's no way you could really explain it. Oh, look at that thrashing machine. Green ones and red ones, you know, against all this golden weight. It was very thrilling to me.
One of the critics said of Wild Things Run Fast that it was different from any of the other albums. Gone was the Joni Mitchell anguished self-doubt. Are you a happier person these days?
A happier person? No, I'm a very angry person. I made a good marriage. This is very good, you know. I'm happily married. But because of the occupational hazards surrounding poetry, that is, delving into deep waters, I would be happier if I didn't think so much. But to be a poet requires deep thinking, and to become a liberated poet requires even deeper thinking than I have done as yet. Perhaps if I thought even deeper, I would be happier. Maybe I'm just in a kind of a limbo.
It was great to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.